Welcome to How to Teach BTEC Model 3 Teaching and Learning. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Angela. Please like and subscribe as we work together to build an international BTEC teaching community. This module will be divided into 4 parts. Part 1, Schemes of Work. Part 2, Delivery Guides. Part 3, Unit Selection, and Part 4, Resources. This video will cover unit selection. When choosing your unit combinations, there are 2 main things to bear in mind. The first one is the number of guided learning hours needed to complete your chosen qualification. For example, to obtain a subsidiary diploma, a learner will need to have completed 360 guided learning hours. The second thing to bear in mind is the rules of combination, as some units are mandatory and others are only allowed against specific qualifications. Unit combinations are very important and must be given specific attention and care. As you can see here, Units 33 to 39 are not options for the Level 3 business course. Once you've included your mandatory units, you can select a combination of units from the optional list that fulfill the total number of guided learning hours required for that course. However, if there's a unit you'd like to offer that isn't listed as either optional or mandatory for that specific course, there is something called MLN, Meeting Local Needs. With this feature, centres can request special permission to add units to the qualification if they believe that those units will enhance the educational offerings and job prospects of students within their locality. This must be done via the Meeting Local Needs application form and should be done before you start teaching that unit. Remember, if you have any questions based on the information provided so far, please drop them in the comment section below and I will address them for you. It is also important for you to understand the rules when choosing pathways within a specific course. If you decided to choose a specific pathway in a qualification, please be mindful that each pathway will have their own list of units and rules of combination. As you can see on the screen, in the business qualification, there are 2 pathways. Pathway 1 on the left-hand side is the pure business pathway, and on the right-hand side is the enterprise and entrepreneurship pathway. As you can see, the subsidiary diploma on the business course offers a greater number of optional units as opposed to that on the enterprise pathway. Please bear this in mind and be very careful as you are choosing your combinations to ensure that you choose the right ones for your chosen pathway. Now let us discuss mapping units. This is when the content and grading criteria of units are compared with the intention of creating a common assessment for learning that covers both or multiple units. For example, in the Level 3 Hospitality course, our students are embarking upon Unit 19, European Cuisine. They will plan an evening called European Cruise, where diners will be taken on both a gastronomical and geographical journey, enjoying culinary delights from different regions of the world. The students will not only cater for this event, but also plan it, which will allow them secure grading criteria for Unit 29, Event Planning. By carefully mapping the units and the tasks, students can carry out this one activity, and secure both units. There is a guide on the specification to help you with this, As you can see here on the screen, it says links to other units. So this is Unit 29, Asian Cuisine, from the Hospitality course, and here you have a list below of units that link to that particular unit. This is a hint that there may be possible opportunities for you to map those units against each other and allows the students to do one common task, which allows them to capture grading criteria from both units. If you are finding this informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Finally, let us discuss changing units. This is a question I often get: can you change a unit midway whilst teaching it? Okay, whilst it's not advisable to change units midway in a course, it can be done. But ideally, a full investigation into each unit requirement should be done before embarking on that unit delivery to avoid any future obstacles or barriers to delivery. I do, however, understand that we do work in a changing tapestry, and oftentimes things may occur which forces us to have to make changes. So, if, for example, you find yourself in a situation where you do not have the resources to be able to effectively deliver or complete a unit, then you may want to consider changing that unit. So say, for example, the machinery breaks down that you need to deliver something for your engineering course. You may therefore consider changing that unit. Again, if you have no longer access to a specialist in your school, so for example, a member of staff leaves suddenly, or something happens where you no longer have access to that person, then the unit most probably will be affected because you don't have that specialism, and you may be forced again to consider changing that unit. However, there are certain instances where I would say do not change your unit. For example, if your students are so far forward into the unit where you might find that you will not have enough guided learning hours to complete that unit, then obviously this is something that you should avoid. If that change will have adverse effects on your assessment plan and also on your learners, then it is advisable not to change your unit. Once you have committed yourself to a unit, see it through to the end, teach it in its entirety, and allow your learners to gather the guided learning hours associated with that unit. Thank you so much for joining me. We've come to the end of another section, and I look forward to seeing you in the next and final video of this module, where I will be discussing resources. See you then, and thank you once again.